So you're very welcome to the fifth and final interview in the series of chats with Vincent Guido, the MD of Clean Sweep Facilities here in Dublin. And today, the culmination of our chat, the very last one, we're going to be talking about something very different. So far we discussed industry challenges where all cleaning problems are born, and we discussed the real value of clean, which is quite different than many people think it is. And also we discussed the cost of cheap cleaning or cheap service in general. So Vincent, what's next for us to look at, and what's really the last thing you want to look at here?
Sure. Next, let's look at the anatomy of cleaning service and its features and benefits. And for this purpose, we will compare side by side two services. One that is giving the client best value long term, let's call it great service. And the other one is poor or cheap service. Some people call it best value short term or just good value. So let me share the screen for this purpose. So can you see the screen, Brindan?
Yes, we can see it there, Vincent. Yeah.
So for this purpose, here are the features of any cleaning service, basically. And so on this side is long-term best value service. On this side is cheapest. So if you look the best value long-term service, the majority of marks, they rated 1 to 5. The majority of marks are in their 5 or 4s. On the cheapest side, they are in 3, 2, or 0, not existent. So the majority of all cleaning problems originate in at least one of these areas that we described here. Um, so let's briefly talk about some of the main areas where cleaning problems uh, originate and what would be considered a complete feature uh, that have marks 4 or 5. For example, recruitment. Uh, when you talk about recruitment, uh, the recruitment system has to give the cleaner career prospects. It has to select the person for the position based on its attitude, cleaner's alignment with company values. In contrast, a cheap service would not have a proper system and would hire anyone that can breathe. Uh, Say onboarding system, for example, where is onboarding? It's here. In a good service, onboarding has for the cleaner has the element of giving the cleaner the confidence of the workload and that the cleaning should be finished on time and the cleaner knows who to contact in every situation, and there is a proof of onboarding as well. In relation to internal systems, cleaning company, as an example, cleaning company is easy to contact, consistent with their response to different situations, and correctly uses software to drive quality, for example. Um, Also, let's say satisfaction guarantee. A great company can offer satisfaction guarantee. A poor service cannot do that for obvious reasons. Uh, Regarding supervision, um, a great company has supervisors to ensure standards are high and cleaners are kept up to date with current cleaning. Um, um, Also, during absences, a great service reacts quickly and effectively to absences, and there is literally no difference in the service provided when absences occur. Um, in poor service, obviously, you get dramatically different results. So this is about the anatomy of cleaning in very brief details.
Okay, Vincent, those figures are very interesting. Do you mind sharing the screen one more time, just on those, till I confirm?
Yeah, sure. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I suppose for our viewers, what we're looking at here is if you score a 5 in that column, it illustrates you're a good company or a very good cleaning company. And really and truly, if you're scoring 2 or less, you're pretty poor as a cleaning company. That's how you measure it. Is that correct?
Yes, it's just an attempt to give listeners a
Sure.
guidance. Really.
And then as we look at it, just for me to clarify for myself then, the areas that you've highlighted that really property managers are not going to be thinking of before they're assessing a lot of these cleaning companies would be, what sort of recruitment policy do you have? Is there health and safety training? Is there lean training? What about cleaning service software? So all of these things that really, if a property manager is assessing a cleaning company, doesn't normally think of. To you, from the cleaning company's perspective, you're saying to property managers, this is what you should look at, because scoring high in these fields illustrates that this is a good company, especially over the long term. Am I correct in reading that?
Absolutely, Brendan. And in fact, I want to take this exercise even further, and
Okay.
let's look at another screen. Can you see the other screen,
Yes.
Brendan?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is just briefly. I wanted to show listeners the potential, um, let's say, possible areas of loss and people involved in this
Okay.
activity, such
So
as.
you're dealing with real-time figures here, which will be very, very interesting for property managers. Okay.
Well, to be honest, it's just an attempt to show
Mhm.
the areas and the formula.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the property managers have to work a little bit and put their own hours and
Sure.
figures. But it's a very good start
Yeah.
to show them the real picture.
Okay.
So the people involved here are property managers, tenants, and landlords.
Mhm.
Um, and this really gives a range of possible losses. But as I said, each particular case has to be looked at individually. And you do need to have to spend some time
Mhm.
for each particular situation. To
So,
highlight here that the real magic really happens only when property managers um, take their time and identify the areas of losses and start monitoring them and actually putting monetary values to see the bigger picture. So, for example, here are the areas for property managers: fixing cleaning problems, of a cheap cleaning service, cost of retendering more often because they have to retender
mhm.
more often than they
If
would.
it's a poor service, certainly it'll hit the rocks early. I think a lot of
Absolutely.
lot of property managers will know that. Yeah.
And then they have to deal with the insurance claim during poor service or no show up when the service is so poor that they don't even bother announcing that the cleaners didn't show up. Also, property managers, they are losing time with this cheap service, and they don't spend enough time on other property issues.
Hmm.
Um, so then there is another area that referral decrease because people usually refer a great service. Nobody is referring a medium or a mediocre service. So they're losing on referral to grow their own business.
Yeah.
Then there is ongoing damage for asset depreciation. It's more accelerating. So yeah, they need to spend more time and money in upkeep of the good standards of the building and then to redecorate more often. So I just put, the rate I put. Everybody can put their own rate and time that they think it's lost. And also another area to look is tenants loss. You know, if the service is poor, tenants are struggling with, you know, missing work, absentees, presentees. That's what we talked in our last videos.
Yes.
And then apartment owner losses is he has to, because of the current situation in the building,
Yes.
it affects him in following ways. He has to more frequently do the reletting, finding difficult to find quality tenants. There is some time lost or unpaid in between relettings, and he's not really able to charge the optimal price.
Hmm.
He would be losing on a monthly basis a small charge. So this all adds up, and these are just figures, total figures that you just have to compare what you're losing, um,
Hmm.
and compare what are you paying for the.
And I would say those are conservative estimates, really. So it's probably a lot more than that when people calculate their own rate per hour, and all of that as well. Okay.
It could, yeah, but for this calculation, I forgot to say that we took into account again just a building of 100 apartments. Average rent is 1,000 euro per month, and yearly weekly budget for weekly cleaning is 12,000 euro.
Hmm. Hmm.
Again, you have to, if you want to really, you know, see the results of this exercise, you have to spend a little bit of time and do your own exercise and calculations.
To me, looking at those figures, Vincent, it looks like an amalgamation of all the lessons we've learned over the last couple of chats, that now we see it in cold hard figures that actually it costs in the pocket to go with something that's cheap short, and those
Yeah,
illustrates the cost very clearly.
you know, I would go as far as saying that I would really encourage property managers to do this exercise, and many of the property managers will find this, you know, a very fascinating exercise and eye-opening. So, just to summarize, when you look at the cleaning service with so many invisible things to deal with, so many unknown factors, so much illusion and confusion, it's actually easy to see why choosing a good cleaning service is such a difficult task. So, if your goal is to find a service provider who solves all the cleaning problems on a consistent basis and is in the market playing a long game, you should understand that there is no real crystal ball, or they call magic bullet, or shiny objects to help you here. You will need to create your own process that would identify this service. You would need to spend a few hours to create this process.
Yes.
Ultimately, will save you dozens and hundreds of hours per year if
Hmm.
done correctly. So,
Hmm.
a good place to start is to look at, I suppose, the brand promise of the cleaning service, um, on their marketing material, and what the customers say about them. Um,
Hmm.
and again, for if somebody wants more information, if somebody wants to go deep on any of the ideas we were talking about here, contact me below. I'll leave my contact details, and I'm happy to explore and expand on this really difficult subject.
Thank you very, very much, Vincent. I think that that brings to a close, really, our series of videos with you. And I think that they're a real eye opener, very short, but to the point in terms of what property managers really need to do to get the very best out of their cleaning companies, and especially amalgamating with that very last cost measurement, if you like, exercise today. So thank you very, very much for all of that, Vincent.
Yes, Brendan, and I just want to add that I'm very happy to put my 2 cents into this project, and My goal was to try to, help cleaning industry participants and seeing the problems and how to best solve them. And just wanted to add here that for the purpose of this project, we've worked with cleaning industry consultants and leading industry organizations. And the links are below if you want to learn more about it. And thank you again. Again, if somebody wants to learn more or discuss on a deeper level, my contacts are below.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Enjoyed that a lot.